good afternoon. This is Models by TCPIII. I'm Tom. Today we're in the hobby room, obviously, and I'm breaking in a new camera. Ooh. Also breaking in a new tripod. So, start off with, I'm going to show you what I had been using. You may recall I said I was using an old GE camera, and this was it. It was a DVX, water resistant up to 5 meters, 16 feet. I contacted people over at GE, and it turned out that what I was having was battery issues. So I may go ahead. I looked up the price on Amazon for the cost of the batteries, and they're like $12, $13 plus a couple dollars shipping. But the unit is pretty well sealed up nicely with a couple of 4 screw spots that I can see here. Then it's got a couple of filled-in places here that look like it probably does hold screws. So if I do that, I'm obviously not going to probably be taking this underwater afterwards. But you know, when I bought it, it was like 55 bucks. And it doesn't go over the years. Camera that I've got now, put up by, let's see, gotta remember, left is right, right is left. Put up by a Hausbell, Hausbell. It's an HD camera, small little guy, and it's at least got a panel that I can go ahead and flip around. So I can actually see myself, like I said before, left is right, right is left, and it'll make it easier for shooting. A couple of the other things that I just picked up that came along with this, it actually came with a little remote. And mind you, this camera was $100 bucks. Yeah, a few pennies less. Nice little case. Came with 2 batteries. Also with charging cables, USB connection that I can plug in to the wall or into the computer. HDMI connection to the back of my TV, as well as a couple of RCA type connectors. Although, does anyone still really use them? Okay, take that back. I actually use them on a couple things, but so I've got the cables in this box here. Something else that just showed up earlier this week. Mentioned the flocking for the seats for Airwolf. So here's multiple bags of different colors. And flocking is pretty easy to do. This, I think I mentioned before, it's put up by Detail Master. I will say that it was kind of inconvenient. Apparently, they were only accepting PayPal because their credit card receiving functions were down. Oh well, didn't worry me, but they do have PayPal. Yeah, don't we all pretty much? Cyber age. But pretty much, when you go to use the flocking, make sure you paint the area that's going to be flocked as close to the color of the flocking as possible. And the reason for that is because you'll end up putting white glue over the top of that, and then you'll go ahead and you'll kind of sprinkle your flocking over the top of that. And white glue does not stick to bare plastic, or at least not that well. So you definitely want to go ahead and make sure you go ahead and paint that up. I really do like the fact that some of the flocking that they send out comes in nice containers. Kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the magazines for revolvers, or not revolvers, pistols. Not that I'm into that thing much. Yeah, what? Right, whatever. Anyways, one of the other items that was picked up here, a lot of you might think you recognize this as a Badger mixer. It's not actually a Badger mixer. It's actually a mixing device put out by Norpro, and this mixer just barely fits into the top of the Model Master paints. Just barely. For the Testers brand stuff, what I'll probably end up doing is, and it came with a bunch of other little attachments. So we've got that mixer blade, but we've got some other little blades here. Okay? And you're probably wondering why I bought a small little mixer. Well, one, yeah. Think Badger, think mixer, think half the price. You know, when I looked on Amazon and other websites, and I was taking a look at the Badger, and even eBay, when I was taking a look at the Badger, I was seeing like $11, $12 and up. Got this off of Amazon for $5 and change. And it had enough items also to bring it up to 25, so it was free shipping. So I'm not going to complain about it. Got too many bags around here, so I'm just going to put those aside. And get the camera bag out of the way. Excuse me. Alright, so basically at this point, I'm going to go ahead, pause, reset up for the build, and we'll get going on that. See you in a moment. Now if I can only find the pause button here. Alright, I think we're back. Learning the remote. There's not a button that just says pause and then start. A lot of different buttons, but nothing quite that simple. Anyways, so back to the build. Get on the visor. Where we left off last time is I'd gone ahead and put the intake manifold or intake scoop here into the one side. That'd be the starboard side, I believe. So, and we also got the wing also done up. So that's going along pretty good so far. I'm going to go ahead and work on the other wing. Get a few things out of the way. And of course, Manny, Mo, and Jack. Wonder how many people got that reference. And so I'm barking in the background. If you didn't get the Manny, Mo, and Jack reference, those were the names, are the names of the three brothers, I guess they are, the disposal brothers, in the Pet Boy commercials. So, alright, what all do we have here? Alright. I think I got a zoom feature. Let's go ahead and try the zooming. Ooh, we're getting technical. How well did it zoom? Not too bad. Anyways, a little bit of flashing after I went ahead and pulled it off here. Let's go ahead and, okay, too much flashing on the panel here as well, so maybe it didn't like being zoomed in that close, with it being that close. Okay. Well, either way. A little bit of flashing to go ahead and take off here. flashing is on. It's actually on the inside, so it would not be seen. However, on this part, right across the top, it would be seen. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of sanding here. Still trying to get lined up here with the camera, obviously, as you can see. Hello, Toby. One of the boys came to say hi. No, Toby. Yes, I know. You're a loving little doggy. Who likes to bark at everything. Yeah, he's a good boy. For the most part. Okay. Go back on the bed. He's like, yeah, right. I'm getting loving instead. Okay. Get some flashing in some other spots. Just like it was on the other one. And I now have a dog on the back of my chair. And that is not the one you're hearing. He's actually on the bed in the other room. Toby, no. Give it a chance, he will steal anything off of the table. Okay, Toby. Fight. Down. Come on. Come on. Yes, I love you too. Time to get down. Come on. I had seen that little guy go ahead and jump on the dining room table without a chair assist. Just to grab a wax or a plastic apple because he thought it was something that he could eat or play with. As it is, he loves to go ahead and bring his stuffy toys into the bedroom, shred them to pieces, which if that isn't bad enough, you've got two long snake-like stuffies, and he's gone ahead and pretty well unstuffed one of them. There's some flashing in here. Be careful with that though. But anyways, he's unstuffed one. He still likes to go ahead and bring it into the bed, because what he'll do with it, while he's on the bed with it, he tuck him out a nice little divot in the molding process. Anyways, while he's in the bed, you'll go ahead, grab a hold of that snake, or centipede, and mind you, this is about 3.5, 4 feet in length, and he will then start to whack it around. And of course he's doing it right by your head. So I'm getting hit in the head. The other dogs are getting hit in the head. And he just keeps on having fun. Typical little pup. I can't really call him a pup anymore. Supposedly he's approaching 4 years of age. I got him just before he turned 3. And at that point, I had been told that he had gone through 6 other families prior to me. I blame the fact that the families in question got what they thought was a cute dog, and they didn't know about the breed. I've got one other Bichon mix here. That's Bailey. And before I even looked at the possibility of going ahead and getting Toby, I, of course, got his shot records and found out everything I could about the little guy. Met up with the then owner, and have since also become friends with the previous owner, which turns out it was the same family. But it was a case of the gentleman that owned him before the family that had him. This is getting a little bit too convoluted. He passed away, apparently. And the woman that kind of inherited him just didn't have the time. And the family that I got him from, they were the extremely active family, and they didn't have the time to go ahead and give him what he needed. Now, I kind of knew what it was like to have the Bichon breed around, so I got a little bit more free time on my hands. So I went ahead and took them off of their hands. Okay, let's see, to a test fit before I actually do glue this down. That doesn't look too bad. And there's seam gaps where I expect there to be, but the only thing that I kind of dislike about this is that particular glue. When you go to start using it, you need to go ahead and make sure it's flowing. So always find kind of a dead spot, if you will, that I know is not going to get any glue. And kind of keep squeezing until I get a few drops. And with the little caps are there, we'll putty in fairly easily. Alright. Go ahead and let that fill up, dry up a little bit. And I don't want that to dry up, of course. One of the things that I was thinking about doing is, with this particular build, to try to go ahead and make this a little bit more realistic. So I wanted to go ahead and take, let's see, there we go. I want to go ahead and take this back wall, if you will, behind the cockpit. And there's a nice little parting line right there. And that parting line is basically right where that wall is that's directly behind Hawk. That almost looks like the screen of the CPU that Dom would be using when he would be, running the computer system in the back. So I'm thinking that I'll go ahead and take one of my Dremel tools. Actually, I'll probably end up using Tamiya drill. And I'll go ahead and put a cutting blade on it. And kind of cut that area out around this central piece here. And I'll only take it down to about right there. That way, we've got some structure in there and whatnot. And there's enough of a ceiling, if you will, that this ceiling piece here will go ahead and hold on to it. Now, that being said, I will go ahead and tack this other part in to make sure that this area holds up while the ceiling piece is drying to the rest of the panels and whatnot. So, as we talked about before, this is the front bulkhead, if you will. Here's the rear bulkhead, which this guy will be totally in place in the back. A few things done to it, but it'll still be intact. And that will open up the back area a little bit, hopefully allow you to see into there a little bit better. There's virtually no way to really see the engineering area, not without having the model lit up. Even with the interior walls being painted white, it's not going to show up. And I'm going to do everything I can to show off the cockpit area and being able to look back. As a matter of fact, behind the screen here, I'll try to go ahead and make sure that the seats that I've got for the back area are there. Now, here you're seeing a double set of seats, which would be basically on the back of that wall there in the Bell 222. So I'll go ahead and I'll cut them apart for a single seat where Dom would be sitting, right behind that screen. And hopefully that'll show up a little bit back there. So we will give it a try and pray for the best, and I think you kind of get the idea. Kind of want the interior to show off a little bit more. I mean, you can see. Okay, oops. Okay, I know I can see it on this panel. Let's go ahead and see if we can zoom it in a little bit. I don't know if that is the ceiling fan causing the flickering on my panel here or what. Definitely find out in the editing process. But I know you can see when you're looking through the window right here, you can see the control stick. You can see kind of a white stick here going up to a black handle that they would, control the aircraft with. So that's about the only real detail that you can make out in there. On the other side, I don't know if you can really see it or not. You can see the other stick, and you can see the collector, which is what string would go ahead and you'd see him turn and pull up back to go ahead and give more power to the rotor blades. that was painted white intentionally to try to go ahead and make it to show up a little bit better. But like I said before, things have kind of fogged up. I don't remember if I glossed. That may be part of the reason I went ahead and put a gloss coat over the top of it. And I certainly did not know about using floor polish at that time period. So, anyways, onward and upward. Bigger and badder. Let's go ahead and take a look for something else to go ahead and have fun with. I'm still debating on whether or not to go ahead and have the guns out or not. I do have another Airwolf model that I got from another friend, and the rotor on it is wrong. So it was from another military helicopter. So I'll go ahead and check to see if I might be able to build that one, but actually go ahead and put the cannons and the rocket pod on it. Let's see. What do I want to do next? Like that part. Certainly do not want to put in the windows right now. Now let's go ahead and do some landing gear, I guess. Let's go ahead and do some landing gear. Okay. Alright. Where's my visor? There's my visor. Right in front of my eyes. No wonder why I couldn't see it. Okay. 14, 15. That's those guys right there. I need to pull a recycle bin up here to capture all the plastics. That's that part. And 35. It is you. No, you're not held on one side. At least not anymore. And you almost went over, but you didn't. Can't forget, I'm going to sand it. Too close. And of course, they're splashing all the way around the edge of the tire. Hello, baby. Hello, little guy. Yeah. Yes, you get a little lesson there. For those that don't know me that well, Bailey's the other Bichon that I mentioned earlier. And he's a pretty good boy. He does have cataracts. And he's diabetic. And he's a senior dog. So, morning and evening time, he does get an insulin shot. Cataracts, although it looks like it's pretty bad, you can actually see pretty good. So I was going to go ahead and get surgery done for him, but when I took him in, they finally came around that he was supposed to get his surgery. Took him on in, and he'd been put on some medication for the week before. Part of the medication was for what was it for? Oh, cholesterol meds, which not uncommon for diabetic dogs to go ahead and have a cholesterol issue as well. And drops for his eyes that had to be given every morning. But when they did the lab work before the surgery was supposed to begin, I got a phone call about 12 noon saying, come pick up your dog, we can't perform the surgery. And I'm like, say what? And they said the doc would explain. And get over to the eye center in Auckland, California, and I will say one thing. That doc is as cute as can be. And very sweet. You can definitely tell that the woman loved animals, which in my book was a major plus, because I've been to a few vets where they didn't really seem to have much of a liking for certain animals. And it turned out that between 3 weeks prior, when we'd had full lab work done, and they determined that he could have the surgery, and when they brought him in, or when I brought him in to have the surgery, apparently his potassium levels had gone down quite a lot. And if you don't know what that means, potassium is the element that aids in muscle function. And some people, if you really don't know what that means, muscle function means heart function. So they didn't want to go ahead and do the surgery. Just on the off chance, he decides to go into cardiac arrest and flatlines there while they're doing the surgery. Which I was kind of thankful for that. So I went there, picked him up, and talk with the doc and whatnot. And it was decided ultimately that, you know, once we finally got him taken care of, got all his lab work and whatnot straightened out, got his diabetes straightened out, and we had his diabetes straightened out, but last time I went into Walmart at that point, instead of getting over-the-counter diabetic medicine for his injection, instead of getting the type N, they give me a 70-30 mix, which caused things to be off a little bit as far as his diabetic routine was concerned. So ended up not getting the surgery done. Yes, we're talking about you, little guy. You not ready for dinner? Well, I said the key word, and he certainly looked up at me really quick. So, okay. So a piece of steel across like that. Does seem to fit pretty good. Those pieces don't. There's a little tab right here. I don't know if you can see it at all. Oops. Again, left is right, right is left. Anyways, there's a little tab there that sticks up a little bit, and it's not notching in its counterpart appropriately. And it's thick enough that it's a pain in the touch. However, this side of it isn't. So I'm going to hog it out just a hair. My heat curving with a knife like that. Lord knows I've certainly gone ahead and done enough damage to my fingertip because of it. But they do match. They do fit together now. There's a little bit of a space at the top, but there was a space already, so then the wheel will go right on in the middle. Alright. Once I get finished with this piece, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and one of those guys. I'm a big fan of those springs. They do a lot of good when it comes to model building. Yes, little guy. Thing I want to be very careful about. Only leave a little drop I do mean a very little drop, where that wheel will end up getting attached to, basically. Yes, Bailey. It helps if I go ahead and put it on the correct side. Okay. Oops. Let me get another small clamp. I want those guys right there to clamp together. I'm not trying to clamp the wheel itself, but there's a little spot right in the middle of the landing gear there that I want to make sure it gets held together. Anyways, real quick, you may have noticed spring clamps. I've got different strengths, different sizes. So let's go ahead and take a quick little look at them. So, pardon me while you kind of move things around a little bit. Go ahead and pan out again. And zoom in just a little bit. So here's the container, the really small ones that you just only get into. I think I got these at Harbor Freight. So 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch spring clamps on this guy here. And as you can tell, they're a lot smaller than this 2-inch one that's sitting right next to it. Above them on the board there, you'll see these spring clamps, which are stronger still. Of course, like a lot of people, I do have that clamp. There's actually a few others that go along with that. And I do have another box of clamps that are around here somewhere, but I am in the process of still kind of organizing all this together. As you can see, there's the other table. Oops. There's the other table behind me. It's got some boxes on it. Long power strip. Actually, it runs across the entire table length. And ultimately, there will be a power strip that'll run across just a little bit above table level there. So, anywho's, I hope everyone enjoyed it today. Let's get this to zoom back out. There we go. So, nothing that exciting, just model building. So, I'm going to go ahead and feed the little guys, and then I'll shoot more video probably tomorrow after I get home from work. And I will talk with everyone shortly. I like the new camera. Happy modeling, everyone. Have a good evening, and take care. This is Tom. Have a good one.